Planning for the Future. Pilotlight is an organisation which links charities with business people who are willing to provide advice on capacity building and business development. The West of England Centre for Inclusive Living is working with Pilotlight on strategic planning. To prepare for meetings with Pilotlight, WESCIL trustees, Chief Executive Annie Davis, and staff have had to look closely at the work that WESCIL does and the work that they would like the organisation to do.
There's been a lot of work done gathering all the information and actually being able to look at each individual service and really understand how it works, what it needs, what it doesn't need. And that's been really good for all trustees.
I think also being able to methodically analyse our organisation. What are we delivering? What has the greatest impact? Are we clear about what the impact of the services that we deliver are and what the benefits are to disabled people? But also, are there disabled people that we're not reaching that we could? So could we reach a lot more disabled people? We've come up with 16 questions that we've asked for every single service that we deliver. So, what do we do, but what's the potential? Who are our customers? Who are potential customers? And, how do we market it, but how could we market it? And I think that's been a really useful exercise for the whole team in helping us to start to think about there's actually lots of potential. We could do a lot more than we're already doing at the moment. And also looking at how are we currently restricted? So what prevents us from getting more disabled people, things like that. So looking at, often because we're local authority funded, we're restricted to one area, but could we actually deliver that service elsewhere in a different way? And I think the other thing that's been really important for us is thinking about how can we diversify our income. And certainly that for us is crucial for our organisation because we are local authority dependent as far as our funding is concerned. So it's really important that we think about how can we find other sources of income so that we can deliver services to more people.
Going through this process for me has meant that I actually understand as a trustee what the organisation does. There were parts of the services within the organisation that I hadn't heard of prior to this process happening. It's also brought us into line with knowing exactly what our workers do because each one of them has come to the trustees and we've gone through each service individually. So we now have a very comprehensive understanding of what our organisation is about. And I don't think we would have had that without going through this process because it's been so intense, it's been so rewarding, I think. And I know that there is a different feel around trustees from that. And managers and staff have gone through training to sort of solidify and bring them together so they're working from the same hymn sheet. Trustees over the next month will be going through exactly the same training. So we as an organisation will be pulled together and we will all work from the same hymn sheet.
One of the other benefits about Pilotlight is it gets us access to business people that we would never normally be able to access, and certainly not for free. Their objectivity has helped us to just think much wider than the traditional ways that we've operated for the last 15 years. So we're quite excited about what it will mean for WESCIL in the future and what our organisation will look like in a few years to come.
Staff and trustees are convinced that time spent on strategic planning will benefit WESCIL's work.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely crucial. We're required to, unfortunately, compete with other organisations in the area. We need to be able to demonstrate our impact. And I think particularly for us as an organisation, social return on investment is really important that we can demonstrate. If you invest in us, look at the massive returns that you'll get. And also I think in a time when resources are short, it's really important that you know what's the least amount of effort that will get you the greatest impact. And I think doing strategy work and working with Pilotlight really helps us to think about that.
It's also brought us in new trustees who are interested in that because we've actually gone out and looked for specific kinds of trustees So that will enable the whole trustee board to grow because they're going to bring a different expertise into it. So I think that in all, it's a very exciting time for WESCIL.
We'll take a vote, shall we?
Har ni inga lägen i dem?